LRBAquatics.com. Hello world, how's it going everybody? Hope you guys are all doing great. If not, as always, I hope tomorrow gets better for you. I gotta remember to look at the camera over here and not so much on this side. But anyways, Joey King of DIY gave me that tip after watching some of my videos, by the way. Anyways, today I want to share with you guys this fry rack. A lot of things. Yesterday was not my day. Like, it was just everything that could go wrong, all kinds of little stuff going wrong. But anyways, this fry rack started busting a leak on me, so let me get you pulled up over here and you can see. Here you can see on the wall where it started leaking on me. I came in here, I was getting ready to do my first, came in, squish, 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 squish. Like, oh great, what the heck? You can already see it's this color in the carpet because I didn't get it up quite quick enough. But we'll get a carpet cleaner in here. We're planning on doing that sometime here someday. But what ended up happening, you can see it's not running now. But I would just followed it up here on the wall and then noticed it wasn't going up here. And finally realized that in this seam here, it had stretched itself and it allowed just a little bit of water to actually seep underneath it and kind of dribble underneath. And it was a steady flow. It was flowing about, I don't know how long it was flowing, but it was flowing for quite some time. Enough to make the floor squishy, so I busted out the fans. Luckily I got this one just for those certain situations. So a little delay of game on this one, but it is getting prepped. And this bag, I've got a great idea for this bag. I'll be sharing that in another video here coming up. I don't know when, but whenever I'll use it. It's I don't know why people don't do it yet, but I'll share that with you guys later. You can see there's not a light on here, so not only is this rack leaking, but the lights decided to just go haywire on me. Oh, I should have told you guys, if you guys get seizures, not to look. Oops, sorry. Hopefully none of you guys got seizures, but if you guys are epileptic, don't look, because yeah, my girlfriend, she was just in here like maybe 15 minutes ago and 3 of these were doing that. I already fixed these 2, but what's causing this is it's these under counter lights. They come in with these, where's that button? They come in with these remote controls here, so you can actually dim it and stuff. For some reasons, these have been shorting a lot on me, so I take these off and it actually ends up working. The only problem is I just can't dim it. So I don't know, maybe I can add those on if I need to dim it. Says too low voltage. No, I don't think that's the problem. It's definitely the sensors in the remote, because they still work fine if I take them out. But as you can see, this one here, it's running, it's doing its job. And also, if you notice, I've got moss in here, so I was getting them ready. This is actually flame moss. I ended up putting in all those, yeah, making fry racks, or fry raves, right? Who needs fry racks when you got fry raves? But I did end up getting some fish in here already, kind of help cycle it. Endlers and guppies are really great for that, getting a cycle going, because they don't need a whole lot as far as biological matter in the aquarium. Then they're real great starter fish for kicking that cycle on. So a lot of them, I mean, it's probably pretty much close to cycle. You can see definitely too, with like the tinge getting into it, like the sand's starting to get that age, kind of a little bit of age look on it. But yeah, it's starting to get there. It's looking nice. I'm really happy I painted the bottom of these black, because as you can see, it really shows up the fish really well. Now this is a used container. It's kind of crusty on the front, but you can still really see the fish. So it should be really cool to see how this looks once I get a bunch of fish in it. Are you gonna have snails in the rack? So I do have snails in all these tanks. Whether they get through the mesh or not, I don't know. Maybe a little hard for them. Even the babies, because that's some tight mesh netting. So even if you look at it, like even in the big slots, it's threaded all the way through it. So yeah, I'd be surprised if a snail gets through. Now I did get into the Aquatic Experience Big Tank Comp. I may have to pull this rock out because I may utilize that into that competition tank. But that should be exciting. I wasn't expecting on getting into the Aquatic Experience competition because the I think the deadline was like in July or something, but I got lucky. There was a spot left in the Big Tank Comp, and that should be fun. So if any of you guys are going to the Aquatic Experience, you can find me over by the aquascaping contest with all the big tanks. I'll be over there doing my thing, trying to make escape, having a tank to play with. All right, so let's see. I think I covered everything I needed to cover in here. I did end up, oh, let me move you guys around here. I did end up putting the sponges back because I didn't want these fish to slide back there. And I do have lids for these as well. I didn't mention that before. And I will also make a more up-to-date video explaining more of this system to you guys later too. Once I just kind of get all the kinks and quirks figured out. That way I can explain it to you guys in a better, fuller manner. But yeah, I got little lids on there, so that's good for the jumpers. Pretty excited about it. And this one should be fixed. Lucas, do you have baffles too? So I don't have the baffles. Instead of baffles, I'm using these foam pieces. Baffles would be nice. And what he's talking about a baffle is back here there's like a slot in this, and you can slide this screen down into it, and that's the baffle. That's almost the same essence as what this foam piece is doing, just keeping debris, or well, keeping the fish in the system. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited to see fish in here and all the colors. And I'm not sure what kind of moss this is. I think it may be peacock moss. And it should be cool to see how that ends up growing out too. Alright, so this is actually all dry. I did that last night, so hopefully by either later tonight or tomorrow I'll be able to put it back on. And I've got my new specimens for in this tank that I'm going to put in there ordered and on the way, and you guys will see what that's going to be here later on down the road. Alright, it's temp stable across rack. Did it raise humidity noticeably in the room? So it did raise the humidity noticeably in the room, but I did get a dehumidifier just for this room, which I had to drill through the wall into my utility room just to get power because I don't have enough power on this fuse. This fuse actually is going bad on me. That's another thing I'm dealing with. I gotta replace this fuse. I can't even run my other dehumidifier in the other fish room because the fuse is just kind of losing its punch and it needs replaced. So I've got to do that before it becomes more of an issue than it already is. It's like there's already so much daily to do's, and when life really adds on to you, it could collect up. But luckily Ben is here. He's been helping me. He's been doing water changes. So big shout out to BAM Fish Keeping, which is Ben Maurer, the guy who helps me. And his channel is BAM Fish Keeping. If you guys want to see his tanks, he's got a little fish room in his apartment. What's your favorite kind of moss? I would say Pilo's one of my favorite. Actually, that would probably be my all-time favorite, and then maybe peacock moss. My least favorite would be Java moss. I'm just not a fan of Java moss. It just gets too stringy and all over the place. But hello everybody in the chat, and sorry if I miss all your questions. I tried to keep the questions on these types of videos towards the topic of the subject. As always, Friday nights are great for Q&As, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time for all the general Q&A, which I do my best just to crank out all your guys' questions. And I usually hammer out a lot of them. Let's see, looking for fry rack questions. Any last fry rack questions before I get off of here? while you guys got the chance. That's funny, Ed's Fish. He says, I don't know why, but this reminds me of the show Breaking Bad. Love it. That's funny. Oddly funny. Alright, so looks like I covered it. Getting the lids on them would help with the humidity. Yeah, I mean, have a dehumidifier. So I've got this dehumidifier there, and then I've got another dehumidifier right there. So I'm not worried about humidity too much. I try not to let humidity really form my life, you know. What other kind of fish do you want to put in there? It's mostly going to be fries, like fish, young fish, and I will probably do some groups, like maybe split up some tetra pairs or even kili pairs, betta pairs, stuff like that. So there's a lot I can use it for. That's just an insane amount of surface area. Yes, for sure. This whole fish room is, really. Alright, Java Moss is the only one I've ever worked with, and I'm not so good at keeping it green. Yeah, Java Moss isn't always the easiest, isn't always the easiest moss to keep either. I'll put that out there. That's another reason why I like the Pilo mosses. It's super easy to keep, and I've kept it in so many different parameters with, like, no issues. And it's one of those, like, a lot of times mosses will get algae in them. And this, for some reason, this is one of the mosses that is least likely to get algae in it. Alright, can you change water specs in sections? So, no, it's either change the water parameters in one or the other. But since most of my whole fish room is neutral, then everything's pretty much the same. So it's not a big issue. Now I may keep one harder than the other, but it won't be by much. That'll just be for breeding issues. Alright, so I got to all your guys' questions. I gotta get back to it. My arm's getting tired from holding this phone up. Getting them water changes done. So I hope you guys have all had a great weekend. And Bam Fish Keeping, there he is at the bottom here. Hey, got the 50% how much GG booster. Our GH booster. So Ben's actually asking me here in the comments how much GH booster. So Ben, if you're watching, let's throw in 875 teaspoons of those, and he knows what that means. I've got them marked as far as my gallons and dosing and all that, which I guess that's something I could share with you guys later on too, kind of how I do that. I'm actually working on that a lot, figuring out the TDS, because changing my water from hard water to soft water, slowly my bicarbonates have been dissolving out of my tanks, and I've been having to adjust to the amount of booster I use and all kinds of other stuff like that. So that could be another video too. Like, there's so much to discuss and talk to you guys about. It's crazy. So if you want to know more about all this crazy stuff that goes on in here, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hopefully YouTube will notify you. They're not always the best at it, but you may get lucky. And yeah, don't forget to like. And until next time, everybody, peace and have fun. And I will see you guys tomorrow.